So as soon as I found out, thanks to Jodie at Just One More Watch, about the new colourways being released, I bought one immediately. And the yellow is the one that smacked me in the face through the screen. I bought it, and here it is. I'm going to share everything you need to know about it. Stats and specs first, then we'll get down to the review. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you in a moment. So here it is, the King returns. The reason why I say the King returns is because this is homage to a King Seiko. Those of you who don't believe me, here's a few pictures. And some people say it's an homage to a Grand Seiko. It does have a lot of similarities to the Heritage case of the latest Heritage line that Grand Seiko offer. But this is actually, from what I know from the seller, is paying homage to a King Seiko. You'll get an idea of if this is a watch for you or not. And if so, as you know, link is in the description, but we're not here for that. This is just to share with you my exciting new purchase. I bought this full price, my own money, during the 11/11 sale. It's still about £70 all in. They don't always do amazing discounts. Escapement Time, for example, they don't have huge margins, so they can't be giving you huge discounts. Let's get stuck into the things I don't like, first of all. The first thing is very obvious, is it's not on the original strap, which they showed photographed. I just think a yellow strap on a yellow watch, unless it's identical in colour, which as you can see it just isn't, this doesn't work for me personally. See what you guys think, but the quality is actually really good for this strap to come with a £70 watch. I've seen a lot worse on much more expensive watches, Seiko for example. This will be the one going on a bit later, and the one it's on now is one of my own from the store. This is the Crazy Horse with quick release, Crazy Horse leather for example. Secondly, there was, first time I've seen on an Escapement Time, few I've bought 4 or 5 now, there was a bit of fluff under the dial. Normally they are spotless underneath, but being a nerd and I love tinkering watches, I managed to get rid of that speck. It was just about there under the glass. It stood out like a sore thumb. It was huge. So what I did was I took the back off by unscrewing it, took the movement holder out, undid the crown by pressing the release pin, flopped the movement out onto my movement holding cushion, and then used my puffer and then put it back together. And it was easy as that. It took me literally 5 minutes from beginning to end. But that's just me. So if it was you and you didn't have that kind of confidence, tools or experience, then it might bug you. But to be fair, that's the first time it's ever happened to me on an Escapement Time. Branding, I'm still a bit squiffy on. Cursive text, Escapement Time. I've seen a lot worse, but this doesn't have an escapement. It's a quartz watch, so it kind of doesn't work by calling it something mechanical when it isn't. It's a quartz watch, and quite a lot of the watches that he sells, probably 50% of them, are quartz. And his most popular model, this one and a few others, are quartz as well. I'm just being picky because that's my job as a reviewer. And stylistically, my one major criticism, being it's a dressier watch, it's good case size, but I just think due to the design, it's very straight and the lug to lug looks a bit long on wrist. I'm going to show you that now just to back that up, that it just doesn't have much conformity, but that is just the nature of this case design. You see, it still conforms quite nicely, but when it's on wrist, it just feels like it's quite long on the wrist. I just think it's on the cusp of being a bit too ungainly. But now guys, it's time to talk about the positives, because the positives do outweigh the negatives. First of all, this dial colour. I fell in love. I knew I was going to take it off that pretty hideous shade of yellow strap, because the deeper, richer yellow that you get on this dial is just beautiful. It adds so much depth of colour on a winter's day. It's great for autumn. See, I took it on the leaves. It looked stunning, and I just think it's interesting to have a dressier watch with a very vibrant colour. I think it's very on trend at the moment, especially with some of the entry-level Rolex pieces, which you just can't get. So why not have a dressier looking watch with a very vibrant colour for something a bit unusual, a bit of fun? And that's why I went for it. You can get blue or green, far more understated, or the original white dial, which I just still think is gorgeous, and it's still in my collection. So I now have 2 of these watches. And I would say the fit and finish of this watch was ever so slightly better. But apart from that fluff under the dial, that one piece, the finishing on the hands and the indices is actually better. And it's just overall feels fantastic. Price even with the tax increase and things like that have happened in the past few months with AliExpress, 70 quid delivered, and a quick delivery of less than 10 days to my front door was fantastic. So for those of you who are impatient and don't want to spend too much money, which I guess is quite a lot of you, that was a really good combination. And I've alluded to it already, the finishing is really good on this watch. You do have a lovely smooth polishing, a lot of it, lovely consistent brushing on the underside, and even in here between the lugs, you get a nice bit of brushing in there as well. A slightly sloppy bit there, just there, but that's the only real thing I could notice. And then you've got a lovely brushed rehaut on the inside, which stops this being too blingy, because you've got those beautifully polished hands and indices, and the inner rehaut being brushed helps just to soften it down a bit. And then the matte dial as well is fabulous. And then the sapphire crystal really helps just add a lovely bit of reflective property. Again, there's not much AR on here, so that's going to be, well, if any, sorry, that's not going to help the reflectability, but it's really legible in many conditions apart from at night when there's no lume to deal with, because it's a dressier watch, so you're not going to be able to read this in the dark, unfortunately. So there's no lume time lapse. I love the movement at 4 ticks a second. Adds a bit of vintage charm, even though it's a quartz watch. You've got the reliability and accurate timekeeping, but it's great to have something that's just a little bit different to your usual 1 tick a second. I really like that, and I'm so glad they used this. For something that's a little bit more dressy, you can make a bit more casual with a strap like this, or this one, which I'll show you in a moment. You're going to have something that's quirky and very good fun. So let's show you on this other strap. What I'm showing you here is one from my store. Again, this is the old school in aqua marine blue. This is lovely, soft Italian leather with a bit of padding there, contrasting stitching. And this is the bluey color, as I said, aquamarine blue, and it goes beautifully with a yellow dial. So let's get this on wrist. I'll show you how snazzy it looks. Now, I've been selling these old schools for a long time, and they wear so beautifully. As I've had this for ages. Look how well it's wearing. You just get a little bit of lovely discoloration and distortion when it's had some bending going on. It's sort of a brighter blue color. So that is really nice. It adds a bit of character the older it gets. It doesn't actually look worse. I think it looks better, and it's soft straight out of the box. It is so supple and immediately comfortable, and look at that. That padding just helps reduce that look of the watch looking long. So if you have a slightly thick, if you've got a watch with a long lug to lug and you put a leather strap on it, my advice is to get something that's got a bit of padding to it, and it helps bring the look of the watch out of it. As you can see there, it just makes it look visually neater and very nice. And the blue isn't garish, it's subtle enough to work with that yellow dial. Beautiful. So for about £70, is this watch worth buying? 100% yes. It is so much fun, and I just love this yellow dial. If you're not into yellow dials, obviously you can get the original white one, or there's the blue, or there's the green. What amount of choice you can get. Obviously the dial and strap combination with this watch was a bit squiffy, but as you can see how transformative a strap change is, because that one it came with just doesn't match. So yeah, another roaring success in my opinion from Escapement Time. They've done it right again. And if you think this video has been enjoyable covering my review of this Escapement Time, check out one of my other videos and you can enjoy some more of your YouTubing experience, hopefully sticking with my channel and seeing what else I've done. If not, it's been a pleasure sharing this video with you today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.